a test of our technology here to see if I can run this meeting from a remote location. Should be good. Scott will take care of us, right, Scott?
I can't hear him.
Yeah,
You guys.
I hear him through the speaker. Do my best to pay attention whenever you're trying to wave us down, and direct conversation if you're trying to reach out. All right. Okay, we need to get this set up.
So who else is in the room with you guys? I can see 3 of you. That's all.
Hey, John.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. So it's and then I'm here, but Chris is not coming to this meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm ready, John, whenever you are.
Okay. Any members of the audience there yet?
Yes.
Yeah, several.
All right. I'm gonna probably need a lot of help organizing and doing the all the normal stuff that staff has been doing. So Jennifer, I'll signal you when you're on, but I guess Scott, if you're ready, we're ready to go.
Yep.
All right. Good evening. This is John Alden, Chair of the DRB, calling the March 21st, 2024 meeting of the Development Review Board to order. First item on the agenda is any changes to the agenda. Jennifer, are there any changes?
There are no changes. However, I do have a note on one of the projects that didn't make it into the staff report that I'll just be verbally adding in whenever we get to talk about it.
Okay, thank you. Second item is public to be heard. This is our chance to hear from any members of the public, either in the room or on connected remotely, to say something that's not about a topic on the agenda. Is there anybody wishing to speak to the board tonight?
Anyone here in public? All right. We're getting people shaking their heads.
All right, good. Next item is review of the last meeting's minutes. I did have a couple of comments myself. So I'll just lead off here, I guess. On page 2, item B, design review, Mr. Alden disclosed a conflict of interest with this project. We should add that I recused myself, left the room and came back in.
Okay.
And then said I would be presenting the project. Just sort of the formal process there. Page 3. Just before item 6, you might make a note that I rejoined the meeting as chair.
Okay.
And I think just at the bottom of page 4, the last word, I believe, should be completed, not conducted.
Page 4, you said?
Page 4, the last word at the bottom of the page.
Gotcha.
We're looking for the completion date when the rest of the property attributes will be completed.
All right.
That's it. Anyone else have questions or comments about the minutes?
Oh, that's good.
Can I get a motion to approve as corrected?
Motion to approve. Seconded.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you. The next item is our public meeting. First item is the conceptual site plan for removal of a building number 14 at 5 Fuller Place to construct a 32-unit apartment building with underground parking in the MCU district by O'Leary and Burke Civil Associates, agents for 222 Franklin Inc. owner. Anybody who wishes to speak on this item should, I'm gonna have Jennifer swear you in, and Jennifer, before we actually get to that, will you read the notice about a hybrid public meeting, please?
You had to ask me on the one day that I forgot to bring the note. Let me, it'll take me just a minute to find the actual text for that.
It's actually in the minutes from, essentially what you read is in the minutes from last time.
Let's see.
I can read that for you if you want. I happen to have it right here. Jennifer is about to tell you that this is a hybrid meeting and that staff are present at the city offices to ensure public participation. While efforts will be made to accommodate remote public participants, in-person participation is the only legal mandated form of public participation. I think she goes on to say that if something happens to the remote connection, that they will entertain written comments or continue at a future date.
Yes.
Is that about right, Jennifer?
That, and if there are technical difficulties, things may be paused and resumed at a later date, or reach out to, I believe the email that we give out is either Chris's or Regina's. However, I have neither with me at the moment, so yeah. But that is the essential idea of it.
And then you'll notice under number 5 of the last meeting minutes is the swearing in oath. Will you please swear in anybody who wishes to speak on this project?
Sure. I believe last time we did this all at once, or was it per project? Do you remember, John?
You can do the whole room if you like.
Okay. So if anyone is preparing to come up here to be at this table to swear in about a project, can you raise your right hand, please? And that includes you, Mr. Groh.
What's that, Marie?
Raise your hand
Oh, yeah.
to swear in for giving testimony about the project. Kind of thing. All right. Let me see. No. So if you'll just agree at the end of this, I hereby swear that the evidence I give under the cause under in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, or under the pains and penalties of perjury. Would you say I do?
I do.
I do.
All right. We have confirmation from both people who are set to present tonight.
Awesome. Would our friends from O'Leary and Burke like to present the project?
Sure.
You have the floor.
And please introduce yourself as well.
Yep. So my name is Brian Currier, O'Leary Burke Civil Associates. We were last in front of you proposing an expansion to the Riverside and Village development off Park Street and River Road. I think it was 2022 for 15 Franklin. It's the building that's currently under construction. It's located in the middle of the apartment complex. This proposal tonight is the first redevelopment project on the eastern side of Riverside and the Village. And it's we're looking to tear down an existing 6-plex at 5 Fuller Place, and in its place build a 32-unit 4-story apartment building with underground parking. The building that's currently under construction is the first time with the more recent construction that 2 bedrooms have been included, and this one will be the same as the one that's under construction now. With 24 1-bedrooms and 8 2-bedrooms, with, as I mentioned already, the underground parking. In order to have this building fit within a riparian buffer that's associated with the stream to the eastern side of this building, the parking lot in front of it needs to be shifted just a few feet, but needs to be shifted to the west. And you'll notice in the staff reports, the city recognizes that a 22-foot two-way aisle parking waiver would be required in order to facilitate two-way parking in that area. Otherwise, it would have to be one way. The parking requirements for the project, we have traditionally been doing parking counts over the years, and I believe the most recent one we did showed that 1.3, I believe it was, spaces per unit was what the Riverside and the Village development, their actual use was. Traditionally, we've been getting parking waivers as we come in, given that it's, a lot of parking, a lot of units, so the shared parking component has worked really well out here. Since the regulations have changed under S100 and the Homes Act, that municipalities can't require more than one space per unit in areas served by water and sewer. We still want to propose a project that we're okay managing. We don't want a parking issue on our hands, but under the current regulations, the development is significantly overparked, but we do feel that it's necessary in order to manage the property. So 776 spaces would typically be required. There's 695, and we're proposing 730 in order to park 456 units would be the once the buildings are fully occupied that are under construction now, and this one would be the unit count for Riverside. The building is being proposed generally in the same manner as the ones on site. Like I mentioned, it is 4 stories, but there's wing walls with decks, an underground parking component, which has been included in the last 2 buildings that have been done out here. The architect for the project, Michael Dugan, is in the audience if you have any questions for the building elevations, but we have found a lot of success with the type of building being built out here. So it's I'm here to answer any questions or go through the staff report or however you'd like to proceed, John.
It's only conceptual, so this is generally our opportunity to tell you what we might like to see improved, or how we think it's going to fit in. I think overall, at least for me, this project is yet another building in a long line of replacement buildings in this development. They're all expected. It's, as far as I know, and I've had people, I've known people that live here, it's a very successful apartment complex for a number of reasons, and this is just another addition to something that we're all aware of and know about. So I think you've got some challenges with the riparian piece and the adjacent wetlands or buffer zone, and there's a lot of stuff that you're working around that will change the site plan a bit. I've seen the building countless times before. I think the staff report's pretty straightforward. Generally don't have any or see any red flags. The one thing that I was not as happy about is the fact that there's that with the entries on each end, you don't really have a street facing entry, which is, I think, always something that benefits the building and the neighborhood. I know one of the entries into the stairway or ramp area comes out right off the sidewalk there, but or comes off the front, but it's I guess that would be my only comment, and I'm not sure you can accommodate an entry on that side based on the way that it's pushed so close to the street, but maybe you could comment on that as you go through it. But that was really the only thing that jumped out at me as being something, if I said, well, what would you like to see there? I'd love to see a street facing entry, but other than that, I think you're fine.
Okay. Yeah. Something we can look into. As you said, rotating the building 90 degrees would be difficult. Likely repairing and buffer in the back. Have you seen the side of the, it was 11 Franklin was the most recent one finished that fronts Franklin Street. There's a nice landscaping wall in front and all the decks are presented on that side. You know, it'd be a pretty similar,
I see what you have going there.
yeah.
I think that's the trick is to kind of beef up that street front presence. You know, you've got to lift the building up out of the ground as much as you can so you can minimize the amount of depth that the parking goes down underneath it. So, I mean, frankly, just having parking under the building is a pretty good challenge for most sites, this one especially. So I see what you're doing there, but you may want to just pay attention to that street edge. You know, is there a sidewalk along that? I can't quite tell. Is it landscaped or is there a sidewalk there?
Landscaped.
Landscape. So I'm walking around the block and I get to a walk area along the building where I can't walk anymore. You know, I think the pedestrian sense on that is, hey, you're pushing me out into the street because I felt like walking around anyway. And maybe people walk on the street there, I don't know, but or maybe they have to jump over to the other side or something. But it feels less pedestrian friendly than I hope. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
I think it would be a matter of trying to push the building back towards that's a ravine, right? So push it back towards the ravine by enough to give yourselves a sidewalk, but I don't know if you can. So just something to keep in mind if you have an opportunity to do that, or at least dress it up so it looks nice. You know, that's probably the only thing you could do.
Yep. Thank you, John.
Other board members?
Yes, this may not be a question for you, but what will happen to the current tenants while their construction is in progress?
This building likely would not be started until the one currently under construction at 15 Franklin, which is 32, would be open rooms. Our preference would be to move them there or another vacancy. There's 450 units within the apartment, so you know there's vacancies coming and going.
Okay.
That's 450 for the whole complex.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Staff want to point anything out?
Seems like to me an improvement, like a continual progress and improvement of the complex.
Yeah. It's been, you know, we started with some of the old, if you remember, John, the old Necky buildings that were out there, and you know, we've been replacing some of the smaller sixplexes, fourplexes that were more recent construction, but yeah, it's been.
I didn't know that history. That's really, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, John, for staff comments. I only have one comment, and it's a minor thing. I've already kind of talked to Noah about this back and forth, just with the parking situation. Everything's good. Like I said, you have overparked a bit just because of regulations requiring more parking than what we currently have. I think you said that you expected the parking requirement to be around 700 for the entire apartment.
Yeah, I think it was 776, but that was off of the old 1.5 units and one for every 10.
Gotcha.
So
I just
today it'd be the 456.
456 units would actually amount to 523 parking spaces, just due to the one area. I think that there's some commercial and including guest spaces and all that stuff adding up. So I just wanted to let you know that was the number.
Okay.
So yeah, you're fine on that. Certainly. Yeah, that was my only comment, just to provide more context for that. Anything else, John?
Yeah, it's a little hard to hear some of you all, but yeah, I don't. I think the only other item that was in here, there was one item about RBs versus CBs. I think you're going to be CBs. Jennifer's noted in there that there is a effective date currently of July 1st for 2024 for the next version of CBs to take effect. There's some rumbling in the legislative body about maybe pushing that back a little bit, but nothing's really happened yet. So nothing else happens. July 1st, 2024. The 2020 version of, actually the next 2024 version of CB becomes effective, and that may impact this building if it's not I think it's permitted by that date. So you may want to pay attention to that, see if you can move things along, get in before that changes. There was one request for a waiver on, I'm not really worried about the parking count. I think this development has consistently been shown to manage their parking spaces and are probably still overparked by quite a bit overall. So I don't see that as an issue. But there was one request for a 22-foot wide travel aisle. And is that out where on the street side where we go to one bay parking, or is that inside the building?
It's outside.
It's outside. Okay.
The building's
I'll share screen with
65 foot wide. But,
Yeah.
It's where we have to shift the building towards the roadway in order to facilitate a buffer in the back.
Yeah. So, and you're saying that's one way, so that's probably not a substantial issue.
Well, if it's we're asking for 22-foot two-way.
Oh, two-way, okay.
And where was
5 minutes, one
that go?
parking on one side for most of that.
Most of it, yeah, right. And then 2 ADA spaces and hatching.
moving through the parking.
It's not this.
Right, yes. It's just the surfing,
This
the
part in the
surface area. Right. Just that one stretch.
yeah, and then this one will be 24 feet at least.
Within the building, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Then you can see we're adding a few 90-degree spaces to the north too, just some infill parking spaces.
Yeah.
In the staff report, it said that the city was fine with this. Has this gone through an engineering review at all, or is it just the admin staff so far?
Believe yeah, this one has only been reviewed by admin, not engineering yet. Although we did discuss erosion plans and things that are relevant towards this plan, just because it's so close to waterway.
Has the safety crowd looked at it, the fire chief and the police chief?
Yeah. Well, fire has at least.
Fire has, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have a issue. I think that waiver is going to be fine. So anybody else on the board wish to comment at this time?
No.
Can I open the comment session up to the public? And Robert, you may have to help call people out. I don't always get to see who's on camera or who has a hand raised. So if you want to help me put eyes on the room and eyes on yeah, that'd be great.
I don't see any hands
No hands. Anybody
going once.
on the in the audience online wish to comment? All right. If no one else has a comment, I'll close the. Do I close a public hearing here? Or are we on a public hearing? I'm fine closing it. I don't have any problem basically saying that, or I can make a motion that, we would, I'm always uncomfortable that we approve conceptual plans, but I think we do. I think we're making a motion to approve the conceptual plan that's as submitted with the proposed conditions, moving forward, and, a positive, waiver of the, 22-foot parking travel aisle as requested. Anyone want to second that?
Seconded.
Any further discussion from the board?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
We missed you last time, Robert.
Yeah. Was out of the country.
Likely story.
All right. Second item, so public hearing, final site plan to convert an existing duplex into a triplex with 2 additional parking spaces at 4 Church Street in the MF3 district by John Giroux, owner. Are the applicants here tonight and ready to go?
Yes.
And Jennifer, if they didn't swear in before, would you please swear them in now?
He did swear in before.
He did, okay, perfect. The way this camera is set up, I can only see half the room, so, and I can't make my screen wider or something, whatever I'm supposed to do. It doesn't happen unless Scott makes it happen, so. Forgive me if I don't always see who's there.
That's all right.
All right, so I'm ready to go on this. Is John sitting at the table, am I right?
Yes, this is John Giroux.
Yeah. Yeah, good. We saw the conceptual plan at our last meeting, and this is the final. We had made some comments on that, and I think I'd asked Jennifer to go chase down a couple of details like parking surface and so forth. I think most of that has happened. You made some minor changes. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about it? And I'm not sure we get to tell you what happens inside the building. This is mostly a review about what happens outside. But why don't you give us a quick update?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't make any changes on the outside, but what's on there. But I did make some on the inside, where I'm removing the hot air system and the ductwork, and so that way it gives you more room and height, because ductwork, sticks down, so that'll be all removed, so it's a lot nicer. And where the stairs go down from the first floor to the basement, I'm removing those stairs and putting a closet there. So that's basically.
Back up to the heating system. If you're taking out the ductwork, what are you putting back in for heating system?
Renais on both floors.
And are these, do they have an outdoor component that sits on the ground somewhere, or is it just an inside thing?
They're just inside.
Just inside. So it's not one of these mini splits or heat pumps or something?
No.
No, okay.
It's probably direct
Um,
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I have one.
okay. Yeah, they really are very economical. It's, they operate off natural gas. And so, there's intake and exhaust on it.
yeah. So it's direct venting. They go right to the outside with that.
Yes, yeah.
there were some questions about the parking lots, and I didn't see a updated plan come through in the packet. And Jennifer, it feels like, you know, one of the things that I'm interested in is kind of, you know, nailing down the site plan. You know, it seems like it wants to have a actual plan that gets submitted so we know where the parking spaces are supposed to be, so that when 100 friends come over, they don't, you know, park anywhere they want, kind of thing. It feels like we should have that documented as part of the application, or at least the approval, that there's an actual site plan that goes with this.
Right. I think we have one as part of the first part of the application. I'll try to pull that up.
Yeah, and then, you know, I think it should be drawn well enough that the neighbors and anybody else who wants to see where the 5 parking spaces are and how big they are, and how they're demarcated and surfaced is part of that plan.
I'll share screen. Here's what we have on the site plan. It doesn't have the individual spaces demarcated. It does show the new proposed parking over here, and then the existing parking here.
So if the existing parking is to remain, which it is, that gives them 2 spaces there, those are tandem spots. But, you know what, I gotta say, this is the, you know, we gotta have something with some dimensions on it, you know, of the parking areas. I got no idea if that's, you know, 10 by 20 or 5 by 10, or we gotta have something for the record. So that'll just be a condition I have. I know they're there. I just don't think that's good enough to file in my records.
Understandable. I'll add it to the conditions.
And we did take comment last time about, I think from a neighbor with concerns about.
Yes. Well, the concern from the neighbor in the previous meeting was regarding noise and noise complaints, which I followed up on, and that actually does not present any impediment for zoning applications or development, things like that. That's civil thing that's filed under the police, doesn't have any bearing on zoning applications. Yeah. All right.
Anyone else on the board have questions or comments about this final application?
I think we did have some questions about maybe what the surface material was for the parking, whether it would be gravel or pavement.
All right. Let me stop sharing screen so that I can flip back to that section of the LDC, cite it properly. Because I did look this up. So under section 909 of the Land Development Code, General Standards A, and then 2 under that, walkways may be surfaced in concrete, bituminous pavement, or gravel as determined by use. That one has to do with walkways. Had this for... That's pedestrian and bikeway standards. It's going to take me a minute to find the one for parking standards. I do remember looking this up, that gravel was an acceptable material, and that is the material that the applicant has proposed
Yeah.
for
I
those.
was gonna say, you have it in the
It's-
proposed.
Yeah.
703.
In the
Staff report.
yeah,
Yeah.
too many papers.
You did do
All
it.
right. Thank you.
It's in there.
Yeah.
Hard surface or gravel.
Yes.
Oh, so I think that's what you're proposing.
Yeah, gravel, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
And I can explain, like, on the picture, where but
I think we,
Okay.
just getting the dimensions of
Okay,
Jennifer, I have to believe that the city has standards for plan preparation and what's supposed to be on it and what kind of drawing it's supposed to be. I'm just asking for this to meet those standards. I think measurements and lot dimensions and setbacks and all that kind of stuff are supposed to be on there. I don't know if this, I don't know why we would accept something that doesn't meet the standards. So if I'm wrong, that's fine. If I'm right, I'm going to make that a condition of the approval.
Yes, the standards do require a site plan to dimension the setbacks. So I'll add that to the conditions here.
I don't know if this was in the
Yes.
conceptual one, but he wants more.
Yes, to specifically show, well, it should be showing the dimensions to from the house to the setbacks, or just the dimensions of all the surrounding setbacks. And he wants specifically dimensions for the proposed parking. Yeah. And that's understandable. We'll make those changes in the future.
Anyone else on the board?
No.
Anyone in the audience?
For the basement was
what's
the
that?
egress. For
What's-
the basement, it was going to be, it has the steps inside and then the windows.
yeah,
Right, the removing the one stairs doesn't, right? Does that make sense? The internal staircase you're getting rid of wasn't one of the
that's
ways
right.
to exit the
No,
apartment.
no, that was just, I was blocking that off.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't going to be used either way.
I thought so, but I just wanted to confirm.
So my other comment on that regard was that in the staff report, after we indicate the residential building energy standards, RBs applies to this, I would like to indicate an item that the Vermont Fire and Building Safety Code be consulted to make sure that this building is or is not subject to those regulations. I think as a threeplex it might be, and that's something that the applicant should work out with the state fire division of fire safety. Just make sure you don't need a permit there, because there are some regulations that impact. I think it's anything over a 1 and 2 family dwelling, but there are interpretations that I'm not always sure of. I'm mostly a commercial architect and not a residential one, so I know there's a fine line in there somewhere about when the fire and building safety code applies to these smaller residential projects, and it's just worth confirming whether it does or it doesn't. It's nothing that the city actually has any authority over. That's just you might get kicked up to the state level for that. We just thought we'd point it out in case it applies, so you'll save yourself a lot of trouble getting a jump on that early.
Okay.
So no one in the audience was here to speak on this project?
No, it seems like the other people who were present were here for the first project, and one person who came with John earlier. If you have any comments. All right.
Any further staff or board comments?
I have some.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the conceptual, we had talked about any possible requirements for dumpsters or trash receptacles of specific kind. I went back, and that does not apply for triplexes. That's for developments of, I think, 4 units or greater. Either way, it does not apply to this project. The note that I received, I got some mixed comments here, so let me share screen with the other document that I have up. Wrong button. Here. All right. So, a member of the tree advisory committee reached out to me to point out that under section 719, residences that are not a single family or a duplex, so triplex and up, are required to have street trees or shade trees along the street frontage, and would like to, make us aware of this and that it's a possible requirement that would apply to this development, and they'd be required to have a tree somewhere along this frontage. However, when we brought this to the attention of the technical review committee, there were concerns with just kind of the size of the lot, the presence of other utilities along the frontage. So this is, I believe, sewer plan. So we've got the sewage line here on the left. I don't know if my mouth, very slowly, but it is there. And so with that, and then the existing shrubs or hedges, here it says shrubs, in the front, it only has it on the left side, but I do know that the current one has it on both sides. Is that correct? Some shrubs on, or well, actually, I did Google
No, there's no shrubs on the
right side.
on the right side,
Okay, so it's just on the left.
because that's driveway right there.
Oh, you're right.
That's the
There's
driveway and parking right there.
Street, I would say that if you're trying to get this to apply somewhere, it applies to Church Street. So I would add a condition to the proposed conditions that require the applicant to satisfy the landscaping requirement and work with the tree committee and staff to find a reasonable solution to all the utilities that are apparently in the way.
Yeah. I think the suggestion with the technical review committee was just kind of concerned, didn't know if it was feasible. So yeah, that's understandable.
All right.
Sorry.
Anything else over there?
No, it's good. I was just trying to make sure I have all my paperwork together here.
Trying to get my volume on it. There we go. Okay. Other conditions? I have 3 additional conditions to what's on there at the moment. Well, I guess we need to close the public portion of the meeting because I think we're out of public comments. So, well, in favor of closing the public meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So for deliberation, we've got the 3 proposed conditions. I have 4, 5, and 6. 4 is final, the applicant shall submit a final plan meeting city requirements, including setbacks and other dimensioned improvements. 5 is applicant shall confirm applicability of Vermont Fire and Building Safety Code and comply as required. Maybe nothing, but I have a feeling it applies. And number 6 is applicant shall meet the landscaping requirement, including street trees. Applicant shall work with staff and including the tree committee to find an acceptable method of compliance. Anybody have other comments?
You mentioned seeing the final dimensions of the parking.
Yes,
Yeah.
part of
That was 4.
Mhm. as
wanted to make
part
sure.
of 4.
So it's my understanding there's no new lighting outside, there's no other exterior improvements other than the parking spaces, so we don't have a lot to work with there. Other comments on the board?
No,
Can I get a motion to approve this application with the amended proposed conditions?
I'd move to approve the application with the amended proposed conditions.
Second.
And further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, we're on to item 6. 2 1s, a 2, and no 3, but I think this still makes this one 6.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
Other development review board items. Do we have any? Anything that you guys want to talk about?
I actually had a question. The project on Pearl Street, which was my lot, I want to say, and now it's Handy because they switched
Yeah.
with the old Domino project.
Yes.
So how does that work for us? Because we approved, or at least we saw
Yes.
that project under that one person, and now it's a Handy project. Does he has to come back to us, or does he have to like follow through on that? I know that I see we didn't know.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I was like, should I
I
know
wasn't
this already?
Yeah. So the project that we saw
On Parks?
correct me
or-
if I'm wrong, Jen, isn't that correct?
just
Or-
over-
Yes.
Yeah, right.
This
The preschool?
this one
Yeah.
it's my lot, right? Am
So-
I getting that right?
It's well, I don't know the name of what was
Yeah.
there or anything. I just know that that one was 17 Park Street, and I believe
Yes.
the other one that you're talking about
Pearl
is
Street, 235 or something.
226.
226,
I
I believe.
believe.
They traded, they swapped. So does that mean that
Like the
Handy
owner?
has to?
Yeah,
Or
or
like-
property exchange.
So that was Handy, but then he
sort of-
came to us. Remember with the project that was going to go next to the boxcar, 17 Park.
Yeah.
yeah. So that was owned by Handy,
yes.
but now it's this other guy,
My lot.
Yes.
my lot, I think.
Oh,
And now the one out there that we did approve
so I do have
Is-
some updates on that.
Okay.
Ownership changing would not mean that it would need to come back through review. If they were planning to move forward with the development exactly as approved, nothing would change. It wouldn't come back to us. They would just go through with the approved version.
Okay.
However, they did want to make some changes. And they wanted to present it as, okay, this is a minor site plan amendment, in which case it would come back to us for review. However, the changes that they suggested were quite significant, in which case we said, okay, if you wish to proceed with this design as you've presented, it will need to go through conceptual review and then into final review again, like the whole process.
So they're going to come back to us with what they're doing
It seems like it.
because they've already taken down the buildings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Over there.
They came in for the demolition permit.
Okay.
So we have the design for that one. We're working on the staff report. We're trying to get it on the agenda for next month.
Okay. Okay.
So you'll see the updated design. A lot of things have stayed the same. A few significant things have changed. I believe the unit count has also changed very slightly. I'll have to check on that one. But yeah, it's like the building's location on the site got moved around. So in that case, it should be and will be coming back through conceptual review very soon.
Okay.
Probably next month.
Yeah.
They already tore down that building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old Domino.
The Domino's?
No, not that
No,
one.
not
the
that
one
one.
up.
Okay, I was like, I picked
Sorry.
my kid up from preschool like
Sorry.
2 hours ago.
But that, yeah. So just that the ownership
Street.
changed, and I just wanted to understand, like, how does that work with our committee? Like, do they have to follow through on the plan that we approved?
Yes.
How did you know this? I don't know. Somebody told me. Maybe it was Chris. I don't know. I was in another meeting that I
It's
heard.
at the last meeting when they
Was it the last
submitted.
meeting. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But when,
Or they told us.
I don't know. Maybe it was the last meeting, but it was.
2 meetings ago, whenever the Park Street building came in, I think they
Yeah, I
told us
didn't
they were.
realize that wasn't originally owned by Handy.
Mhm.
I don't know if we got because I felt like I heard that later on.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the arrangement was, but seems like they came to some kind of agreement
Yeah.
of, we'll switch out. I want this one, you can have this one,
Yeah.
and it worked out.
Must be nice.
I was about to say.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was important for our group to know because I really liked the plan that was proposed from that group on Pearl Street. I keep
Yeah.
looking over here.
Mhm.
Thought it was very new and innovative and like all electric, and it was just so I was
Although we do have,
so I'll be sad if it's not as nice.
it might be changing. Yeah, although the number, I might be wrong because is it 227 Pearl?
I think it's
220.
Sounds about right.
It's one of they were gonna keep like climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing though, and then like just drop off with a sidewalk.
No, not that one. No, further down. I don't think it's that. No.
The park one.
It's right near Monarch Apartments there.
Yeah. Just when you drive by it, it's got the big dirt. It's got the big empty dirt.
The Domino's place. I'm
That's
thinking
right
of
over
that one,
Oh,
not
no,
the
no,
other
no.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Did we have anything else to discuss?
I do not.
Do we have other things that we need to discuss?
Where's John?
We're all set.
He's in his office somewhere else.
We're all set, John.
We're all set.
I'm in my home office in central New York, my other home office. Anyway, thanks for coming, everyone, tonight. I'll be hopefully in the room with you next time. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you.